Hi guys, it's Jensen, welcome to the video, and today's episode of Let's Talk, I just want to answer a question someone asked me. Now, there's a friend I have called Ben, and he asked me, what is the best camera to get to start out making videos and making YouTube videos? Now, this is a really complicated question, even though it seems quite simple, because really you want to think about what kind of content you're going to be making. Are you making action cam videos? You know, what are you doing? Are you scuba diving? Are you doing tech reviews like me? Or are you Twitch live streaming? You know, are you doing gameplay? Are you doing movie reviews? All this kind of stuff. So all this kind of stuff is going to make you think about what kind of technology you want, and you're going to try and cater yourself around that and to meet that. So my advice at that point was actually, there's an old kind of proverb, if you like, which is the best camera there can be is the camera you have on you. And in most of our cases, it's one of these, and this is a smartphone. Most of us have got a smartphone. Now, I don't have anything really stupidly fancy. I've got an iPhone SE, which is basically an iPhone 5 chassis, I think it is, but with basically all the gubbins and the insides and the camera of a iPhone 6, I think it is. So it's actually a really decent little thing. I like the chassis of the 5. It's nice and blocky, and I like the color of the housing of the chassis and all this kind of stuff. So this thing has served me really well. Now, I use a Canon 600D for a lot of what I do. I really like the image quality, and it's a camera I bought myself when I was in my final year of university, with the idea of one day making content, which here we are now making content. But yeah, I think actually the best camera that you can have to start out with is your smartphone, because it's the camera that most of us have got on us. And actually now the cameras and the technology in smartphones is almost as good, if not better, and more accessible than DSLRs. Now let me explain by what I mean by that. Now, a DSLR has got a lot of functionality. You know, you've got a lot more control artistically and technically over the image that you're capturing and creating, and you've got the options of all different sensors and different lenses and all this kind of stuff and accessories. But now think back about 5-6 years ago, and DSLR filmmaking was the new edgy fringy thing in the video world, whereas now the edgy fringy thing, if you like, is smartphone filmmaking. And I mean, I guess in terms of popular culture, we've been using smartphones for years, making vines, doing this and that, all kinds of stuff, Snapchat, Instagram. So smartphones have become a big part of the media that we create and we consume. And you don't need anything big and fancy to actually do that and be successful at it. In fact, I know recently there was an article put out about the first feature-length film that's been shot completely using smartphones. And smartphone filmmaking is on the rise big style. And I'd love to do a video all about that and talking about and reviewing more accessories. So expect that to be coming. So a good place to start is your smartphone, because you know what? This is a 2-3-year-old phone now, and actually it's got a 4K camera in it that films at 30 frames per second. Or if I want, I can shoot at 1080 at 120 frames a second and get that beautiful smooth slow-mo. And if you want to unlock the deeper potential in the phone, there are apps out there. I think the one I use is Filmic Pro, and that allows me more control over where I'm focusing, the exposure, the shutter speed, the ISO, all that stuff. And it's about £3. So to unlock the deep potential of your phone's camera is about £3, which is really silly. Or if you want a 4K camera, you've got to drop £1,000. You've got to drop over £1,000, and that's not even talking about lenses and all the accessories that you're going to want to get with that. Best place to start, right here. And if you want to upgrade the audio, you can buy an adapter for about £10 that is going to allow you to run external mics. So it's kind of a no-brainer. This is a great place to start. iPhones and phones were not this good 5 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever it was when I got my 600D, but they've come so far now, and you can get gimbals like I have the Xeon Smooth Q, and it is absolutely fantastic, and it's reasonably affordable actually. I mean, that's a very semantic term, but I know some people think the Panasonic GH5 is affordable. Well, This gimbal is about 80 quid and it is actually fantastic. So for that, I'm like, that's reasonably affordable. Of course, again, completely semantic term, but smartphone, great place to start. Number two, if you are going to be doing more gameplay stuff and you want to do more live stream stuff, it's probably a good idea to get yourself a decent webcam. And the webcam that is probably the most popular one out there is this. And thank you, Graham, for sending this my way. The Logitech C920, and it is an absolute beast. You know, it's 1080 at 30 frames a second, which is ample, really. You know, that's pretty much industry standard now. And the key to any image and any photography is lighting. Now, I've got a lot of restrictions in the space I'm in, so I get that my lighting is not always the best, but I try to make the most out of what I can. But if you have good lighting in your image, in your frame, whatever it is you're shooting on your subject, which is probably going to be you, this is going to do really well. And I've been astounded by the image quality of this Logitech, and I'd love to do a more in-depth review, so expect that coming soon as well. If you really want to drop the money, if you want, get yourself an action cam. You can get GoPros, they're the big brand name out there, but actually if you check out SJ cams, you can get something that's pretty affordable and the image quality is just as good. The app might not be as good or look as good as GoPro, because GoPro have an incredible brand image. Everything is super slick, just like Apple. That doesn't mean that Apple are the best, and it doesn't mean that GoPro are the best. They just really know how to present themselves and how to put their image across and really manage their brand and their image, the story that people are buying when they get the product. That's like a whole other thing. But yeah, if you want to get yourself an action cam, yeah, you can drop all the money and get a really fancy GoPro, or you can check out a competitor like an SJ cam, and they are actually really decent, and they're probably going to fit most of your purposes for what you're wanting to do, and especially if you're just starting out. I wouldn't recommend spending loads of money and getting a really fancy camera, getting a big DSLR or anything like that. You can start off fairly small and fairly cheap, or just start with your phone and work your way up from there. And if you decide after a few months or however long it is, yeah, I really like this, I'm really passionate about this, and I want to keep doing this, then maybe at that point reassess and think, okay, I want to go further, I want to buy something, I want to go bigger, I want to go better. That's the point. Don't set out and spend loads of money. The Logitech, they fluctuate in price. If you are hanging around for a sale, you can pick them up for about £20-25. I know that's what the price was in the Amazon sales that have just been up. So, you know, keep your eye out for those. But if you want to starting out, get on your smartphone. It's a seriously good piece of kit. And yeah, like really, I'm amazed at how good smartphones are now, and some of the features that you can get in them and the third-party apps that allow you to unlock the potential of your phone. I definitely say at some point, hey, it's definitely worth investing in your audio recording side of things, because that's a huge, huge part of the production value that people don't actually always think about, especially video people. I'm sorry, guys, but you don't always think about that. It's pretty camera first and pretty actor first, and often the music and the audio get kind of put to one side, and it's like, oh, we'll just get our friend to do that, you know, get such a body to hold the boom. And actually it's something that you really want to spend time on and that you really want to think about carefully if you can. And there are inexpensive ways, or much cheaper and more accessible ways to do it than you think. You can spend 2, 3, 4 grand on a 8-track audio recorder if you want, or you can buy a H1 or a H2 from Zoom, or you can buy a Takstar for about 20 quid, which actually does a good a job as a £200 Rode microphone. So, and I've got a real passion for these hidden gems. Like, this is something that I really realised that I love. I love hidden gems, and I want to do a big segment about this, which are these like badly kept secrets and things like the Logitech, things like filming on your smartphone, microphones like the Takstar, things like the Rode NT1A, which a lot of professionals don't want to go near just because it's a Rode NT1A, where they'd rather sink £1,000 into a Neumann U87, but actually they can get a better microphone for 200 quid. Just saying, guys, a lot of the time people are chasing after brands because it makes them look good and it makes them look the part, when actually it's your ear, not your gear, when it comes to sound engineering, is a famous saying. Don't get me wrong, that's no excuse. I believe in investing in good tools when the time is right and when it's necessary. But if you're willing to get creative and do the reading and research and not just rely on someone else has gone, oh, this is the best thing ever, check it out yourself, look it up yourself, try it out yourself. Never take anything I or anyone says as rote in anything in life, really. Check things out and test things. So I've probably rambled on for a bit there, but my advice is, if you're just starting out, what is the best camera to get? The best camera you can get is the best camera that you have on you right there and then. And most of the time, that's your smartphone. And actually now, unless you're really willing to spend $1,000 or something like that on a camera, or several £100 on a camera, your smartphone is going to suit you just fine, and you can accessorize this bad boy up. You can get a gimbal, you can get mics, you can get this, that, shaboomy, bangy, whatever you want. Accessorize this bad boy up for £100. It might be all you need to do instead of getting a big whacking DSLR. Get yourself a decent tripod. That's always worth doing. But I say decent if you just want to be doing stuff where you're setting up and being stationary and you're not doing lots of tracking, moving stuff. You can get a tripod for probably about 15-20 quid. So that might be all you need. We might just need to spend a little bit of money on a tripod, and that's it. So you might already have everything you need to begin your own channel thing. If you want to, go for it. Try it out. That's what I'm doing here. I'm seeing, hey, what works, what sticks, what can I do? Trying loads of different stuff. I have a real passion for music and creativity and films and teaching. I really love teaching, and of course I'm really passionate about my faith and sharing that, which is something that I want to try and do a bit more on my channel. So I hope this video has been helpful. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. It may have been a long-winded round to get it, but this is what Let's Talk's about. It's a nice informal way of me sharing things and answering questions for you guys. So hopefully you found that useful, and hopefully it's been enjoyable somewhat. Please feel free to like, comment on all this, and please feel free to like, comment and subscribe and all that goodness. Thank you for stopping by.